Book number 6, And Then There Were None, by Agatha Christie. And Then There Were None is a classic mystery novel by Agatha Christie, celebrated for its ingenious plot and psychological depth. The story takes place on Soldier Island, a secluded piece of land off the Devon coast in England. 10 strangers, each with a troubled past, are invited to this island under various pretexts. These invitations, sent by an unknown host who identifies as UN Owen, promise different things. Some guests believe they are being offered a holiday, others a job opportunity, and some a chance to reconnect with old friends. However, when they arrive, they find themselves alone on the island with no way to leave. The guests represent a wide array of backgrounds and personalities, each bringing their own secret with them. Justice Lawrence Wargrave is a retired judge, a man known for his stern and sometimes controversial rulings. Vera Claythorne, a former governess, is haunted by the tragic drowning of a child under her care. Philip Lombard is a mercenary with a dubious moral compass, who has been involved in unsavory activities. Dr. Edward Armstrong is a successful doctor with a history of medical malpractice. William Blore is a former police officer with a questionable past. Emily Brent, an elderly spinster, prides herself on her moral rectitude, but hides a harsh and unforgiving nature. General John MacArthur, a retired military man, is burdened by guilt from a long-ago incident. Anthony Marston, a wealthy young playboy, lives recklessly without regard for others. Finally, Thomas and Ethel Rogers are the butler and housekeeper, a married couple who harbor secrets of their own. Upon their arrival, the guests are greeted by Mr. and Mrs. Rogers, who inform them that UN Owen, their host, has not yet arrived, but will join them soon. The guests settle into the large, imposing house on Soldier Island, each intrigued, but also uneasy about the situation. As they gather for dinner on their first evening, the tension among them begins to grow, fueled by the strangeness of their circumstances. After dinner, the guests are shocked when a gramophone recording suddenly plays, accusing each of them of having committed a murder. The voice on the recording, which identifies itself as belonging to UN Owen, details the crimes for which each guest is supposedly responsible. The accusations are chillingly precise, bringing to light the darkest moments of their lives. Justice Wargrave is accused of condemning an innocent man to death. Vera Claythorne is accused of allowing a child to drown. Philip Lombard is charged with abandoning a group of men to die. Dr. Armstrong is accused of causing a patient's death through negligence. William Blore is accused of framing an innocent man, leading to his death. Emily Brent is blamed for driving a young woman to suicide. General MacArthur is accused of sending a subordinate to his death. Anthony Marston is blamed for killing 2 children in a car accident. And the Rogers couple is accused of allowing their former employer to die through neglect. The guests react with a mix of anger, fear, and disbelief. Some vehemently deny the accusations, while others remain silent, knowing the charges against them are true. The name UN Owen is quickly recognized as a play on unknown, suggesting that their host is someone whose identity is deliberately hidden. The mood in the house shifts dramatically as the guests realize they have been lured to the island to face retribution for their past crimes. As the evening progresses, the first death occurs. Anthony Marston, who had arrogantly dismissed the accusations against him, suddenly collapses after drinking a glass of whiskey that has been poisoned with cyanide. His death sends shock waves through the group, and the guests begin to fear that they are not just being judged for their past actions, but are being systematically eliminated. The next morning, Mrs. Rogers, the housekeeper, is found dead in her bed, having apparently died in her sleep from an overdose of sleeping medication. The guests now understand that these deaths are not accidents. They begin to suspect that the murders are being carried out in accordance with a nursery rhyme framed and displayed in each of their rooms. The rhyme, 10 Little Soldiers, describes how each of 10 soldiers meets their end one by one until none are left. The guests notice that with each death, one of the 10 figurines on the dining room table disappears, symbolizing the systematic nature of the killings. As the remaining guests try to unravel the mystery, they become increasingly suspicious of one another. General MacArthur, who has grown despondent and resigned to his fate, is the next victim. He is found dead by the sea, struck on the back of the head. The guests, now in a state of panic, realize that the killer must be among them. The isolation of the island, combined with the relentless sequence of deaths, drives the guests to the brink of madness. Mr. Rogers is killed while chopping wood, and Emily Brent is found dead, apparently having been injected with cyanide. The group's numbers are rapidly decreasing, and their trust in one another has completely eroded. Dr. Armstrong, who had been acting as the group's leader, begins to lose his grip on reality. Philip Lombard, always suspicious and self-serving, becomes more paranoid, while Vera Claythorne, already traumatized by her past, starts to unravel under the pressure. With only a few guests remaining, they search the island for any clues or a possible hiding place where the murderer might be lurking. However, their efforts are futile. The guests come to the terrifying realization that the murderer is one of them, hiding in plain sight. The sense of hopelessness and doom grows as they realize there is no escape from the island or from the person who is killing them one by one. William Bloor, the former police officer, is killed when a heavy clock in the shape of a bear is dropped on his head from a window above. Now, with only 3 guests left, Vera Claythorne, Philip Lombard, and Dr. Armstrong, the tension reaches its climax. Each of them is convinced that one of the others is the killer, and they are unable to trust each other. In a final desperate confrontation, Vera shoots Lombard, believing that he is the murderer. She then returns to the house, where she is overwhelmed by the events that have transpired and haunted by the memory of the child she let drown. In her room, she finds a noose hanging from the ceiling. Consumed by guilt and despair, Vera hangs herself, convinced that this is her final act of atonement. The story seems to end with all 10 guests dead, the mystery of their deaths unresolved. However, in a final twist, a manuscript is discovered after the events on the island. The manuscript is a confession written by Justice Wargrave, one of the guests who had supposedly been killed earlier. Wargrave reveals that he was the mastermind behind the entire plot. Fascinated by the concept of justice, Wargrave decided to punish those whom he believed had escaped legal retribution for their crimes. Wargrave meticulously planned the murders to align with the nursery rhyme, ensuring that each guest would die in a manner that corresponded with the lines of the rhyme. He faked his own death with the help of Dr. Armstrong, whom he later killed, to carry out the final murders without suspicion. Wargrave's confession reveals that he derived a perverse satisfaction from carrying out the murders, seeing himself as both judge and executioner. After the last murder, Wargrave took his own life, leaving behind the manuscript to explain his actions. And Then There Were None is a masterpiece of suspense and intrigue, where the characters are forced to confront their past sins and the inevitability of justice. The remote and isolated setting of Soldier Island creates a sense of claustrophobia and dread, as the characters realize that they are trapped with a killer and have no way of escaping. The psychological tension among the characters is heightened as they turn on each other, driven by fear and paranoia. Agatha Christie masterfully weaves together elements of mystery, suspense, and psychological drama, leading to a shocking and unforgettable conclusion. The novel delves deep into themes of guilt, justice, and retribution. Each character is forced to face the consequences of their actions, and the characters' backstories are gradually revealed, showing how they justified their crimes and how their pasts eventually caught up with them. The story raises profound questions about the nature of justice and whether it is ever truly possible to escape the consequences of one's actions. The use of the nursery rhyme, 10 Little Soldiers, as a framework for the murders adds a layer of macabre irony to the story. The rhyme serves as a chilling reminder of the fate that awaits each character, adding to the sense of inevitability and doom that pervades the novel. The meticulous planning and execution of the murders by Wargrave demonstrate his cold and calculating nature, as he methodically eliminates each guest in a manner that leaves no room for escape or redemption. The novel's ending is both chilling and thought-provoking, as it reveals the true nature of Wargrave's sense of justice. His confession shows that he believed he was carrying out a moral duty by punishing those who had escaped legal justice. Yet, his actions are undeniably those of a madman. The story leaves readers with a sense of unease, as they are forced to grapple with the implications of Wargrave's twisted logic and the brutal efficiency with which he carried out his plan. And Then There Were None remains one of Agatha Christie's most popular and enduring works. It is a testament to her skill as a storyteller and her ability to create complex, multi-dimensional characters. The novel's blend of mystery, psychological tension, and moral ambiguity has captivated readers for generations, and it continues to be a powerful and compelling exploration of the darker aspects of human nature. The isolated setting of Soldier Island, with its rugged cliffs and harsh environment, serves as the perfect backdrop for the unfolding drama. The island's separation from the mainland creates a sense of helplessness and despair among the characters, as they realize that there is no way to escape their fate. The oppressive atmosphere of the island, combined with the increasing paranoia among the guests, creates a tense and claustrophobic environment that heightens the suspense and keeps readers on the edge of their seats. As the story progresses, the characters' true natures are gradually revealed, and their facades begin to crumble under the pressure of the situation. Each character is shown to be deeply flawed, with secrets and sins that they have kept hidden from the world. As the murders continue, the characters are forced to confront their own guilt and the realization that they are being punished for their past actions. This psychological unraveling adds depth to the story, as the characters' internal struggles become as important as the external events unfolding around them. In conclusion, And Then There Were None is a masterful work of suspense and mystery that delves deep into the complexities of human nature. Agatha Christie's skillful plotting, combined with her ability to create memorable and relatable characters, makes this novel a standout in the genre. The story's exploration of guilt, justice, and retribution, along with its chilling and unforgettable ending, ensures that it remains a timeless classic that continues to resonate with readers.